podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
All right, Tom, we're here to talk about United 4, Wolves 3. I guess it's Wolves 3, United 4. And just before kick-off yesterday, Paul, former host, Paul was saying he's not going to bother watching it because United versus Wolves is always crap. And it always is, except this one.
It always is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What a game.
It was so mad. And I think it's arguably United's best performance of the season.
For an hour, yeah.
For an hour. We were so good in an attacking sense. I think that's also because when you have really good players, you can actually play pretty well.
Yeah.
And that kind of was a showcase for me yesterday. You look at our team and you're like, shit, it's such a good team. And we've rarely said that this season because we've had so many injuries and players not being available and stuff. And you think, this is actually a good team. And then we played really, really well, like you say, for an hour. Hugely entertaining game. Because of our naivety, I think, in a lot of senses. But thankfully Mainoo bailed us out. But there's so many negatives to take away from that yesterday, and also so many positives.
Right.
Because I think looking at that team, especially, and the way they did play for an hour, you're like, this is the making of something good.
I know. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves and go, okay.
No,
because you think it does look like a top 4 side when everyone's there and playing well, which neither of those things have been true at all this season. I mean, that's 4th game unbeaten, which is United's longest run of the season. Incredibly. That's just absolutely bonkers, that is. And Ten Hag basically said it in more diplomatic terms, but he basically said, I've got my best players back now, and this is what you get. And of course, it'll make or break him. He will have a job next season or not, based on United's performances from now until the end of the season. And there's an 8-point gap to 5th or something like that. That's what United's chasing. I think 5th place will probably get a place in next season's Champions League. Looks like it probably will, unless English clubs really fail in the first knockout rounds of all the European competitions. And so it's still on, unbelievably still on, that United could make the Champions League next season, despite how crap we've been for most of it. But to come back to the positive, for an hour yesterday, it was just everything was working right. The balance in midfield, Kobbie Mainoo and Casemiro was perfect. Pretty much the first choice back 5, I'd say, especially Shaw coming back, just makes the world a difference. And the front three, 4 looking hungry, including Marcus Rashford, who looked very hungry, not just thirsty like he was for most of last week, and scored an absolutely belting goal after a couple of minutes to open the account and shut up some of the doubters.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Interesting to know they didn't do the point to the mind kind of thing, because if you're kind of pointing to the mind, you'd be like, was there a brain there last week? Because it doesn't feel like there was. It's such a stupid thing to do. But he took his goal so well and plays really well. I think Semedo actually played well also on that at right back. I think the two were both, usually that's a contradiction. If the left winger plays well, then the right back doesn't. But I thought Semedo actually did do really well, because Rashford got a lot of one-on-one opportunities with him, and not always could he beat him. But I think that was kind of an encapsulation of the whole game, really. The amount of times we were able to get into those positions. There was so much space for us to attack into. I guess that's the benefit of scoring early when we're a transition. We're a team who play well in transition. Score early, then you can kind of play the way you've wanted to, and space is going to open up because the Wolves are going to have to kind of chase the game type of thing. But he was really good. He could have been better for sure. There were times when you kind of think, I don't know, is that the right choice to make, and that type of thing. But yeah, like you say, he looked hungry. And I guess after doing something so stupid, he has got something to prove, to be honest.
Yeah, but isn't that the frustrating thing? We know he's got this in him. And he had to have something to prove in order to show some hunger and desire. And I hate being reductive about analysis of players, but you see that Marcus Rashford, and let's be fair, he scored against Spurs and Forest and whoever, didn't he? So he's got there's 3-3 now for Marcus Rashford, but this was definitely his best performance of the season. And it's frustrating that it has taken what happened last week to bring that out. And my sense, just in the online world of United fans, was there's just a tremendous amount of negativity about him, and it's partly the idiotic nature of what he did, going out on a 2-day bender and lying to the club about it, lying to the club for 2 days afterwards, and forcing the club into a very embarrassing position. And it's taken that for him to sort of have what feels like hunger and desire again this season. And that's always going to be, like, fans are just never going to accept that, are they? That you only turn it on sometimes. You only feel like you care sometimes. Yeah,
and it was the same last season at Wolves as well. Remember when he missed training and then he came into the team as a sub and scored? Yeah. It's obviously a little bit different last season because he did score 30 goals, but it is so frustrating. And I mean, we've been obviously big supporters of Rashford this season. We've not been the people who have been piling onto him week after week, as so many people have. But like last week is just so stupid, especially when you're under so much scrutiny and you've not played well this season as well. Like, to kind of think that you're like Billy Big Bollocks. I mean, we've all skipped work because we've had like a night out or whatever, but usually in our jobs, we don't really give a shit about them. Like, we probably did that when we were like 19, 20 and like some part-time waiting job that we had or whatever. We don't do it when we're playing for Man United.
Well, quite.
Like, it's the job that everyone wants.
Yes.
Like, it's really like not just disrespectful to Ten Hag and the team and his teammates and all the coaching staff, but it's disrespectful to every single fan as well. Like, for you to do that, go on. One night out's bad, but 2 nights out's bad enough. I mean,
I think you could get away with it as well.
Covered it last. So. Exactly, it's really really bad. But then, well, we saw what the upside of him last night, and hopefully, maybe he's learnt a lesson from his stupidity, and for the rest of the season now he's going to have his head down, and he is going to kind of think, yeah, that was really really fucking stupid, and this season, and then for the rest of the year I'm going to try and give back. We never know, like, you don't know what's going to happen over the next few months, but hopefully he's in that kind of mind frame, and also he's got to be good enough to go to the Euros, and surely that's in his mind.
I should hope so.
If he's doing this type of thing, like, Gareth Southgate wouldn't stand for that, and I know, like, as United fans, many of us don't really care that much about England, but he obviously will care about playing in that Euros. They've got a really good chance of winning it, and if he's not there because of some stupidity and lack of commitment, that's going to sting with him for a long time, especially if they do win it.
Yeah, and United need him to be really good for the second half of the season. Marcus Rashford needs this to go to the Euros and to make amends to the club and to his teammates and the fans and the manager. And I think if you think about the comparative crime, like Rashford versus Sancho's crime was essentially not training hard enough and then sticking a social media post up. Rashford got shit-faced twice, lied about it to the club for 48 hours and has embarrassed everyone. I think that's the bigger crime. And the different reaction is that Rashford, I think, it wasn't said in the statement, it said he took responsibility, but I'm going to assume he apologised in that meeting. It was him, his brother, his agent, John Murta and Erik Ten Hag in that meeting. I'm going to assume, just the way that Ten Hag was willingly kicked Ronaldo and Sancho out of the club, that Rashford has, that contrition has included an apology. And he's been caught absolutely red-handed. You're one of the most famous people in the country, and you think you can get away with going on the piss. Of course people are going to photograph you, of course.
I know.
So
stupid.
I mean, the clubs involved, the nightclubs, that is, leaked CCTV footage, have sold it. I mean, of course they're going to do that. I mean, brain dead. But he made up for it. It's a fantastic finish. It's a nice move from United. Garnacho, Dalot, the layoff from Højlund, who I assume first thought he was going to control and turn, couldn't. Smartly found Rashford, who's passed it into the corner. Beautiful goal after 2 minutes.
Beautiful goal.
Yeah, hopefully we can draw a line under all of that now, and Rashford is good for the second half of the season. He stays fit, and Luke Shaw stays fit, because I think Luke Shaw being behind him and creating space on the overlap makes a big difference. Wasn't that second goal came from that area as well? That Højlund bundled in, or it sort of came off the keeper and then hit Højlund. We're calling it his goal, though, right? So.
Yeah, and they're the type of goals you want to see Højlund score as well. Like that's what we've not seen him score. Maybe not seen him have those types of chances really. And I guess that's because also our wingers, when Shaw is, especially when Shaw isn't playing, our two wingers don't really get to the byline. I think Garnacho will be now playing on the right. He's got that potential to almost like old school kind of Antonio Valencia get to the byline and pull it back. But when Shaw's in the team, it brings that extra quality in crosses into the box, because obviously when Hansen is playing on the right-hand side, you're not going to get that. Rashford doesn't really whip in. Well, he wouldn't play that type of ball in.
Yeah.
He has the potential with his left foot, but it's rare. But those are the type of goals that you want Højlund to be having, because there's been games this season where United have created a lot of chances, but Højlund hasn't had a chance himself. And that's kind of like... It feels like he's played well, but not got into the right positions, or we've not fed him and stuff. So another kind of dimension I think that Shaw brings to this team is to get the best out of Højlund in those types of areas, because I feel like he has the nose for it, and he has that physicality. So I don't see why he can't be scoring more of those chances, because they're just bread and butter of a Premier League striker, aren't they?
Yeah, I want to see him score those. I also think, positionally, he's too far up the pitch sometimes. You know, he actually looks good just coming a little deeper, so he's not. The ball can be played in front of him, and Bruno will play those balls. He plays more balls into the final third than any other player in the Premier League. He will play those balls. So I think positioning for Højlund makes a difference, and also United trying to find him in those channels will make a difference as well, and not solely back to goal number 9. I think it was, forget the account, I think it's Devil's DNA on Twitter, did some comparative stats between Højlund this season and his season at Atlanta last year, and how many touches he's getting, and it's like half. And clearly United should be a better side than Atalanta, not Atlanta. And that is all to do with the system United's playing, and not getting those balls for him to run onto, because he's got that pace and physicality and movement. Movement's good. So anyway, it's nice to see him score another goal. I think is that 8 he's got this season. It's ticking up. It's ticking up.
3 and 3 as well.
Yeah, if he ends the campaign with like 15 to 20, it's not bad for a 20-year-old in your first season, honestly. So
no, and an improvement on last season as well. Yeah. Like I feel like he's not had the greatest start to his career at United, but he just has so much to him, doesn't he? Like, I feel like he's almost hampered by how many attributes he does have, because he can do everything. He can do a little bit of everything. I think he's still a little bit raw with his touch and stuff, but I think he's just got a little bit of everything, and that personality as well.
Yeah, all right. So that's the first 2 goals, and then it was the penalty for Wolves, which, I mean, honestly, just if you don't... Like, what is the point of having VAR if you can't overturn that? I mean, it's so obviously a dive. The weird thing is, I think it's hard to know exactly which angles the VAR was getting, but I think the point at which they switched to the VAR and they were showing the angles were those foreshortened ones where it's showing it from the front and the side. And there you could go, it might look like the boot is on the shin. When you see the close-in, tight-in angle from behind, you clearly see there's about a foot gap where the foot is withdrawn and Neto just falls over. And I'm like half thinking VAR didn't see that angle, because it's so obviously a dive when you see that angle.
There's this ridiculous thing with VAR, especially for penalties, where if it's given on the field, it's so rare to ever be overturned. There was that one. in the Liverpool-Chelsea game the night before as well. It was a stonewall penalty to Chelsea in the first 5-10 minutes. And because the referee didn't give it, for whatever reason, they just never overturn it.
I don't like this either.
Obvious that
if they were going for a binary system where it's right or wrong, and VAR's there to help get it right or wrong, this kind of we're gonna. I mean, it almost feels at times that VAR is looking to back the referee, and of course they haven't ever said that, but that's what it feels like. That is horrendous.
But you think as well to what Mike Dean said about his pal, I think it was Anthony Taylor. He was like, I didn't want to send Anthony Taylor over to the screen because he's had a bad enough game as it is, or he's had a difficult enough game. And he's saying that, clearly thinking it as well, how many other people are thinking that in the league? And like, what is the direction from Howard Webb? Like, I'm also at this point where I just hate VAR so much. It's so refreshing watching the FA Cup at the weekend, where you just watch a game and a goal goes in and a goal is going to stand because there's no VAR in the game. And it's just so, it feels like going back in time. It's just so beautiful to watch a game without VAR, which is just so ridiculous.
Well, VAR didn't have to intervene in the 2 offside goals United scored. But the thing I liked about that is there were 3 balls played and it didn't get the timing right. And so...
really close, though.
Yeah, really close. The lino gave it, aging myself, the assistant referee gave it offside. I mean, that's the weird thing about VAR, right? It's binary on offside, but not on everything else. Just another level of frustration and nonsense with it. But it would have been much clearer if United had kept themselves onside for those 2 and also taken some of the other chances, because there were a lot of good chances that United were missing. It didn't half feel at times that we're going to regret this.
Yeah, it really did feel like one of those games. Like, for all our good work, we still have to be more potent in those wide areas and in the final third. There was a couple of occasions, like Bruno's one just after they scored their first, where he got in about 15 yards behind the defence, just had to play a really easy pass with his left foot to, I think it was Garnacho at the far post, and he just blazed it miles over into the crowd. It's like... what can you really say to that, to be honest? It's just a simple error, and Garnacho did a similar thing in the first half when he was on the right hand side and just way over hit his cross, and I think it went out for a goal kick when Rashford was the one at the back post. Like, that's just got to be better if we want to be a team that are going to go on a bit of a run. Like, we have to be more clinical in those types of positions, and it came back to bite us in this game because we're not the type of team that go and shut down a game, a little bit like City do, where they just keep the ball and control the game for the rest of the 30 minutes or whatever's remaining. We're kind of a team that, we just don't have that in a locker. We don't even, philosophically look like that type of team. So we basically need to outscore the opposition. And that kind of leads us a little bit open at the back and leads a lack of control, and it almost did come back to bite us in this game.
So on the chances missed, 3 big chances missed, so 3 high XG chances missed out of 5 created. Creating 5 big chances in the game is a lot anyway, and just nearly it's 3.5 on the XG last night. And then about the not shutting the game down, incredibly, Bruno talked about it against Newport after Newport and said he thought they made the mistake of not trying to shut the game down. Game management. They sent 7 players up when United 3-2 up with 5 minutes left in the game. 7 players. Harry Maguire, who'd come on, and Johnny Evans were up for a corner. Yeah. What the hell are you doing? And United get counted on.
We did that so many times as well. It wasn't just one corner. It was about 3 or 4 opportunities where because Johnny Evans played that, almost got an assist, didn't he? About 2 minutes before that. We were still creating chances, and when it did go to 3-2, we were still creating chances after that. It's not like Wolves were just barraging our goal or whatever. That's the weird thing about that game yesterday. But we just kept missing them, and then just left ourselves ridiculously
way
open.
Too open, yeah.
How you can... I think it's unforgivable at any level of football to be 3-2 up in the 95th minute of a game and concede by a team getting a 3-on-2 from a counter-attack from a corner. How does that happen? Especially against a team like Wolves, who are basically only good in transition. Like Cunha is only good in open space. Neto is obviously a really good footballer, but when he's got open space, he's obviously rapid and he can damage you and hurt you. Like it's just like it's so schoolboy. Like that. What happened?
Incredibly frustrating.
Like what you say. You bring in Evans and Maguire on to shut the game down, and you sending them up for a corner with like 5 minutes to go. Like, what, 2 minutes to go? What are you doing?
Pretty brain dead, yeah. I mean, Kilman scores the second goal, doesn't he? And then they all pile up for the corner and for Neto to score the equaliser in injury time. And I think that's right. I'm maybe mixing stuff up there, but I do think Casemiro going off like contributed to United's sort of openness right at the end because he. I mean, I guess Ten Hag had to take him off because it's straight after the penalty, isn't it? He takes him off. So he got booked in the second minute. Double-footed scissor challenge. Immediately that happened, you're going, okay, let's check the betting. Like, what's the over-under on him getting a red card now because there's a good opportunity. And then
or is there a festival in Brazil like over the next few weeks or something, and he wants to go home before or something? Yeah.
Oh, poor Casemiro. That's Neymar. Yeah, and so I do think that contributed to United's openness right at the end. And if Casemiro hadn't conceded that foul and hadn't previously got the yellow card, then probably Ten Hag wouldn't have taken him off, or maybe he was just knackered and blowing because he needs a few games to get up to speed again. And that may well have contributed. But his replacement was Scott McTominay, who's, I guess, ostensibly supposed to be there to be like a little more defensive when you're coming on that late and you're trying to manage a game. But, of course, he didn't. This was the good side of Scott McTominay in that he scored with his first touch. Which was... It's great when that happens because it's the only reason he can be in the team because he doesn't offer anything else apart from that. But scoring a goal in a big game like this, pretty important.
He's just amazing at finding space in the box and scoring goals. It's, I mean, you almost just want to kind of just retrade him to be a striker at this point. Like, you don't offer really anything in that midfield. You're not quite good enough on the ball. Like, he leaves massive gaps behind him especially if you're playing in a minute two. It's like you're only playing him because he's a goal scoring threat. That's what he's in the team for. Well, he shouldn't have been in the team for that yesterday because, like you say, he should be trying to lock a game down, but he's just so good at flooding the box. And I guess if you do play him as a striker, he's not going to find himself into those positions, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's so frustrating to have a player who's just so potent in the opposition box. And like so many of our players could learn from him in that respect, to be honest. Like, he's clinical. I mean, he had another good chance after that, and he wasn't quite as clinical. And obviously, he missed that header the other week in the final minute where he could have won us the game. But yeah, it's so to me, like, his defensive now feels so coachable. Like, I can't understand why he can't be told like how to
where you need
defend.
To stand. Yeah,
especially like when you've got Casemiro in there, who kind of. Well, almost like you just want him to go to like a one-on-one masterclass with Casemiro for a few weeks, or just watch loads of his videos or whatever and try and take it in. But whatever's happening at training, like it's not getting in his head.
It's not sinking in. Yeah, no, I was trying to look just as you were talking. You know how they call Thomas Muller the space invader, and I forget the German term for it, but he feels a bit like that. Now, obviously, it's kind of unfair because Thomas Muller has been a great player and. I think McTominay is a couple of levels below that, so I'm not making a direct comparison, but he does do that. He sniffs out space in and around the box, and he's a good finisher. It's just a shame there's quite a few other deficiencies in his game. I realised we're like 25 minutes into this pod. We talked about a lot of the highs and lows of the game. We haven't really talked about Kobbie Mainoo. Obviously, we're going to talk about him scoring the winner because it's just a beautiful moment, but just his maturity anyway in that central midfield. And I think the balance of him and Casemiro, he played at sort of 8 box-to-box against Wolves. Obviously, he's played at more of a 6 for his previous games this season. But just 18 years old, and you don't want to hype him up too much, except Rasmus Højlund, in his interview post-match, says they're all talking about him as a generational player. Thanks, Rasmus, for not hyping him up too much. Ten Hag said, I hope he just keeps calm. Also said something really interesting, Ten Hag, where he said he'd watched him in the under-21s and last season and thought he was coasting a bit. It was a bit too easy, and so they've been pushing him really hard in training this season to have more, and he's clearly got more. He's got everything. He's a great passer. He's great in terms of the number of defensive actions. He's clearly a good finisher, very good finisher. He just seems to have incredible maturity, tactical maturity. Again, you don't want to hype him up, but best midfielder already, isn't he? So smooth
in possession. I said a few months ago, I wonder if the reason why we didn't buy a central midfielder was because Ten Hag thinks Mainoo's so good. And I feel like that is the case, because from what we've seen, he looks like our best player almost every single game he plays. He's like that kid in centre mid. He's so smooth in possession. He's like, I don't want to hype him too much, but he moves the ball a little bit similarly to Thiago. He has that like silky smoothness, and the way that he passes the ball, the way he dribbles with the ball, and his goal is just so beautiful. It's like it's just like a piece of art. The nutmeg is just beautiful. The little shimmy to get onto his right foot to shake the defender's hips, and then the finish also, the ball takes a little bobble before it hits his foot, but he still just strokes it so beautifully into the corner. And then also to just add to kind of the art, his celebration's just yeah, boys, calm down. I've got this.
Yeah, I'm glad it was a one-hand calm rather than the Ronaldo two-hand. But yeah, but it was the facial expression as well. He just was yeah, this is kind of just another day in the life of Kobbie Mainoo. It's just, oh my god, it was an amazing moment. Brilliant.
I know it's Wolves away, but it's still that just feels like an iconic moment in recent United history. To be honest, for being from such a don't want to hype him too much, but from a guy who looks the real deal in so many aspects, to just be able to score such a beautiful goal like that in the last minute of a game. Beautiful moment for him, but also for the club, it just feels. I think it's just an iconic moment, to be honest. Yeah,
Rio Ferdinand compared the goal or him to Clarence Seedorf, because obviously Seedorf scores a very similar goal. I can't remember, was it one of the European Cup finals for Milan, and I may be getting that one wrong. I don't know whether stylistically he's quite the same as Clarence Seedorf. There's some things about his smoothness in movement and possession, definitely feels a bit like that. You compared him to Thiago with his passing. He's got a little bit of Makelele in his defensive nous, because it's really good for an 18-year-old. He gets a lot of defensive actions in there because he's in the right place a lot. Is he a 6, 8? Could he play at 10? Don't know, all of them. I guess a lot of it will be up to him or Ten Hag and what they want to do with him, the balance of the squad. But for the rest of the season, and probably for next season, it's Bruno, Mainoo, and one other. And it's probably Casemiro who's the favourite to play there right now. But it could be Mainoo Deeper and Amrabat, well, probably not, or Mount when he comes back. And forget that we actually spent 60 million on that guy. Not going to need to spend 60 million on another midfielder. It costs you more to buy Kobbie Mainoo right now, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it brings such balance. And of course, fans are going to love that, because it's an academy player. It's one of your own. It's nothing better, really, than an academy player coming through and making it. Becoming a star before your eyes, I think, as Nick Harris said on Twitter. And it's totally true.
And he's such an embryonic stage of his career as well. What is it, 10 senior games or something like that? It's astonishing how good he is. We obviously talked in pre-season about how we were really excited to see him, but he's surpassed all kind of expectations already. It's beautiful. And there are a few players. From a centre midfielder as well, we don't create them, and we've always been short in centre midfield for so many years. For like about 6 months of last season, we weren't short, but like again, this season we're short again. So it's not just like great to see an academy player, but it's in that position as well where it's so needed. It is real straight good luck in some respects.
It is quite rare that you see the academy player come through and you're just so certain they're going to make it, because you've seen them at the under 18s, under 21s, and just really, really sure. And that's rare that happens. I think it's all, even like class 92, I think we had doubts about all of them. Beckham didn't fill out till he was quite old, actually 21 before he got into the United side. He was in Preston at age I don't know if he'd even made it to Preston at this age, actually. Scholes was quite a late developer because he was small. And so, it's so rare you're just so sure that a player's going to make it. And I guess Ravel Morrison, we were absolutely sure.
Yes, we were.
He didn't. Yeah. And Kobbie Mainoo just seems to have his head on his shoulders, and apparently he's got a really good family as well. His dad's sort of playing agent at the moment, and he's very level-headed. I didn't know this, but they were talking on the Talk of the Devils podcast that Kobbie's brother was in one of these celebrity Love Island type things or something like that. Yeah, I don't know, like, whatever. But yeah, special kid, special moment.
Yeah. And also an assist for Amari Forson as well.
Yes, props
to him.
Didn't
do much in the assist, but
kind of poked the ball to him, but he made a good kind of cross-box run to take one of the defenders away. And that did
he really did. He really did. That is worth mentioning, for sure.
I mean, the thing with Forson is his contract's coming up, and I think there's been a lot of internal discussion about whether he's going to sign a new one or not, and he's probably looking for game time. He's 19 now, so if they're going to send him out on loan, if they were going to send him out on loan, they'd probably want him to sign a contract first. That's not happened. Is Ten Hag giving him a bit of game time now? A way of saying, yes, you're in my thoughts. Has he moved ahead of Palestri, who's gone out on loan again? Ahmad, who hasn't gone out on loan yet, but I think there's still room for that to happen, if I'm right, to the Football League. So, yeah, it's a good question. So, anyway, he did well for that moment. And
it was interesting also, he played through the middle as well, like obviously coming on for Højlund. Like that, I mean, you'd rather, not that Martial is near the team, obviously, because of that injuries, I think, 10 weeks or something, but like you'd prefer to see Amari Forson come on and Martial. I'm sure the fans would prefer that, even if just work rate alone, to be honest. But yeah, and also like talking about academy, like 3 of the 4 goals were from academy lads today as well. Like it's just
McTominay, Rashford.
We've got so many of them, haven't we?
And yeah, Mainoo. All right. It's a great moment. I know it's just Wolves away, but they've been so bad these games over the last sort of 5 years or so. So that was very entertaining, and to win it right at the end. There have not been many times this season when fans have had a chance to go totally mad, but that definitely was true yesterday. United haven't done a lot of business in the transfer market, but we thought we could perhaps wrap up some of it. It's almost entirely exits, actually. So, winter transfer window. The exits are Jadon Sancho, obviously, loan to Dortmund, no option to buy or anything like that. So we'll see how that plays out. I guess he and United and Dortmund all wanting to play well. Hannibal gone to Sevilla, came on 62nd minute. Got booked in the 63rd minute of his debut and then got dropped from the squad shortly afterwards. So, well done, lad. Facundo Palestri has gone.
That's a really weird situation, by the way. That's
so weird. Yeah,
I've
so
never seen anything like it. Yeah.
God knows what he's done. The coach, whose name I forget, Sevilla coach. Obviously they're in a bit of trouble this season.
Kike Flores, isn't it?
Oh, Kike, yeah.
Watford, yeah.
Yeah, said he needs a bit of time to understand what it means to play for Sevilla, which sounded like code for, oi, Billy Big Bollocks, you like knuckle down and work hard to get in the team. It was really odd.
But what I think with Hannibal, like he seems like he is that type of player. Like he seems like he'd work hard.
You think so? Yeah.
It's almost maybe like didn't carry out instructions when he came on, or I don't know. Like it's really. Yeah, it's just what I wouldn't have expected from him, to be fair. It's really weird.
Facundo Palestri's gone to Granada, who are struggling in Granada, so that's going to be an interesting one. Hopefully get some game time. Not guaranteed, because it was Alaves for a couple of seasons, didn't always play. I don't know if you saw this, his agent was mouthing off, said that Ten Hag didn't use him, and then, what did he say? What was the wording? Didn't treat him like a professional.
I mean, I think there's a lot of sticks you can beat Ten Hag with, but I feel like he gave Palestri a lot of chances. And I don't think Palestri showed enough, to be honest. All for giving youngsters a chance, but like Palestri had a lot of chances, and just wasn't that good.
I mean, there's that, and it's okay for Ten Hag not to rate a player. We may agree or disagree, but I think agents mouthing off saying he was unfair to him in some way. It was not some conspiracy; he just didn't rate him. Yeah. So maybe United get a fee for him in the summer. Obviously, Donny van de Beek. This is confirmed a month ago now, has gone to Eintracht Frankfurt. If we can get any kind of fee from him in the summer, that would be good. Alvaro Fernandez went to Granada earlier in the season and has switched now to Benfica. That's with an option to buy. It's kind of interesting because he hasn't actually been playing that much at Granada because the club captain's left back, and he's gone to a bigger club now. Yeah, it's an upgrade. Kind of interesting, but Benfica do need a left back. They just sold one. Dangor has gone to Port Vale. That'd be good for him.
I think that one's to watch. Like, I've really rated Dangor. Like, he has the.
He's got something about him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of got that personality. Like, ability maybe not amazing, but I don't know. I like what I see from him. To be fair.
All right, and then the final one, which got kind of a lot of reaction, wasn't it? Isak Hansen-Aaroen heading off to Werder Bremen on a permanent transfer, and which is probably a low fee because he was running out of contract, I guess. The club feel that he wasn't about to sign that contract. He wants to get in the team. He's not quite ready from what I've seen. I don't think he's, especially in the Bruno Mount position, he's a long way behind. So he's not, the pathway for him to get into the first team's not there right now. Maybe in 2 seasons' time when, we think about replacing Bruno, but it's too late. He wants game time now. There's with a sell-on option as well. So I think United have been stung a few times losing players just for the what do they call it? UEFA have a name for the kind of compensation fee you get. Anyway, I forget. But United have lost a few players for that, and now they're going to get a fee of some kind, but a big sell-on. And it's probably good for everyone all round. So he's got a pathway into the first team at Werder, who have got a few younger players. If he makes it from here, good for him. But I'm not sure. What I've seen so far, it's not one of those I feel like he's definitely going to make it at the top level. Nice technically, but you need a bit more than that. And he's slow as well, which I think is a problem in the Premier League. Yeah, technically he's really, really good. But you need to be way more than that, especially to make it in the Premier League. The German league is slower, and I think that's one of the reasons why Sancho looks so much better there, because Sancho is quite a slow player too. And I think, and also Hansen-Aaroen doesn't have any physicality at all, really. No. So when you kind of lack in the strength and the pace, he's kind of like a real old school number 10 who's going to look really pretty. But is he going to be that effective? It'll be interesting to see in the Bundesliga if he is. But I really think he just lacks way too much in the physicality. And you need to be a real athlete to make it in the Premier League these days. That's absolutely true. Yeah, and I think it just feels like a good one all round. And I mean, if he'd signed a new contract, maybe could have given him another couple of years to try and make it, but. I'm not against United deciding at this sort of age that it's probably not going to happen. Let's just cash in. If United become more successful, and the age group teams do really well, and the under 18s are going absolutely gangbusters this season. They've won 14 in a row.
Great win over Liverpool the other night as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so if the age group teams are doing really well and the first team is doing better, it has this halo effect on younger players. United will get better fees for some of these players. Right now, none of that has been true for the last few years. The age group teams haven't been doing well. And so this clears out space in the squad overall, but it clears out pathway for maybe some younger players to step up from the 18s to the 21s and get a little bit closer to senior football. So I'm not against this policy at all, and you just hope in 2 years' time it starts to pay more financial dividends, and when United decide they want to get rid of a 19 or 20-year-old, that they get big fees for them, like Chelsea and City, especially City seem to get, because it's the fourth revenue stream. It's important. It's now a competitive aspect. Academies have to produce and financially and not just be a loss leader. All right, one player out on loan already is Mason Greenwood. Getafe played Real Madrid, got beaten by Real Madrid the other night, and Jude Bellingham appears to have called Mason Greenwood a rapist after tackling him. I mean, it doesn't half look like that. I mean, I'm not a professional lip reader. Apparently the Spanish league are bringing in a professional lip reader to determine whether he's done this. But, I guess you don't want players going around accusing the fellow pros of being a rapist, except when it's basically fair comment.
I love Jude Bellingham. He's not only a fantastic footballer, but he has this real, nastiness to him, to be honest. He's as demanding. This kind of really goes under the radar, but he's so demanding of his players. There was that time at Dortmund, I think they were playing Rangers, where he just called one of his own teammates, you fucking shit, can you pass the ball or something? And that, you don't want to see that from your player every single time. But I think there's almost something Roy Keane about his personality in that respect. He's so demanding of himself, obviously, because he's such a great footballer, but of all the people around him. And he's just got this also fight and willingness to win, and he doesn't give a shit. And just calling Mason Greenwood a rapist, it's not even that it's just it's the fact that also Greenwood is English. It's not it's you'd think usually in abroad you'd think that the two players of the same nationality would be almost cozy with each other,
right?
But fucking none of that from Bellingham. He's just telling it how it is. So good. So good. And I can't believe he's been investigated for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay having the alleged rapist in the team and lauded by Getafe. That's perfectly all right, but another player calling him that is not. I mean, I'm kind of giggling here because it's a nervous laughter. Obviously, the accusation is not funny in the slightest. The accusation against Mason Greenwood, that is, it's not funny in the slightest. So the background to it is really dark. But you don't expect it. The context of a really big-time player at Real Madrid, and English on English violence, verbal.
Violence. So good, so good. I mean, it's also kind of saying what so many of us are thinking in a lot of respects.
Yeah, well, quite. Yeah.
Almost kind of why are you even here type of thing. I think he's. I know it's kind of juvenile, but I feel like he is also fighting the good fight.
Exactly, yeah. We, on the back of his content last week, me and Dan talked about Klopp, and obviously United missed out on Klopp because, Ed Woodward did an Ed Woodward on him. Klopp smelled the bullshit. And the other player that we really missed out on, the other person we really missed out on was Jude Bellingham, who didn't think it was the right environment for him to develop, and he's been totally right about that.
He's a smart man.
Yeah, his pathway has been managed very, very well, and obviously he's got to the top very quickly because he's a brilliant player, but also he knew how to go from playing in the Championship to being at the top level. And if he'd gone to United, he may have drowned. Who knows? I mean, maybe he's just too good to have failed anyway, but United don't half kill off talent.
Yeah, I think he's probably also the type of talent that would just lift everyone around him and just drag everyone up. He'd have been so good for United. Imagine him and Mainoo in the same midfield. Well, I mean, that might happen for England, I guess, very shortly. But
I mean, I said this on the pod earlier, didn't I? When Mainoo had 45 minutes in the team. It's not central midfield. It's not the area where England are the strongest, and obviously Bellingham is going to be in there. But Mount is having a bad season, hasn't really played there for England either. Was dropped by Southgate. Henderson, he's now stepped up a level. He's playing at maybe the 10th best league or something like that, up from the 60s something best league, but he's 34. Don't know. It's unclear whether he can cut it at the top level anymore. Probably not. Who else? I mean, Conor Gallagher, who's not really in the... Yeah. Calvin Phillips, who's not been playing at all for City, he's gone to West Ham.
Made a mistake yesterday, I think, for one of the goals.
Yeah. So there's a lot of question marks about central midfield for England, and there is a pathway for Kobbie Mainoo to get into the squad.
There is, but then I just kind of think it would be so much better for him if he was not English, just because you just know that, like, I don't know, he has one bad game and he's just going to get so much stick from everyone, and it's just that baggage you get with playing for England. I know it's kind of lessened because England are better these days, but it's still there's still the fear of when United players play for England that they're going to be ruined by the whole razzmatazz of the whole experience and all the media out for United players and stuff. That's my fear is, well, my feeling is more fear than excitement about him playing in that midfield for England, to be honest. It's just that always... Ugh.
I know. Anyway, yeah, don't want to talk about England too much. It's been nice to not have to think about them for a while, hasn't it? Okay, on to the weekend. United are playing West Ham, and I feel like we just played and lost to them. But that is the nature of the reverse fixtures, isn't it? So this one's at Old Trafford. We desperately need a win in terms of like chasing fourth or fifth place. It is. I'm just looking at the table. They are a point ahead of us, and then we play Villa next, who are 8 points ahead of us, all 22 games. Real chance to not only sort of get this second half of the season back on track, but make up ground in these next two games. And just really important.
They're a bit of a weird team, aren't they, West Ham? Like they have some like poor results, but they're against big teams this season. They've been pretty good. Like after they beat us, they went and beat Arsenal, which I think that was the first time Moyes won away at a big six club or top four club or whatever it was.
Right.
So he's recently got that monkey
500
off his...
attempts. Yeah.
So he's recently got that monkey off his back before he heads to Old Trafford. But yeah, it's really difficult to know what West Ham team will turn up, really. But if our team is, well, you wouldn't make a change, would you, from last night? If everyone is fit and available, you feel like, yeah, it's time. It's really time now. I mean, we've probably said it all season, but it's time now to get a bit of momentum going and put this game to bed like early doors. I mean, it's not going to happen, but
just one normal day of United spanking the crap team will never happen. Yeah. We've got to be careful. I mean, Kudus is he going to be available? He's going to be available. He played against Bournemouth, didn't he? So he is very good at finding space. He's had a very good season. There's obviously been a lot of chatter around why didn't United buy him rather than Anthony. There's, I think obviously he's a better player. I guess the question with Kudus is he doesn't really play on that right hand side, and that's what United wanted at the time. But he's had an excellent season. Got to be careful about giving away free kicks because of Ward-Prowse's sort of very, very special teams from those kind of moments. But I don't know that the central midfield is quite as good as it has been at West Ham. I don't know whether they've been that good this season. Souček, Alvarez, and I guess that's why they brought Phillips in.
But I obviously didn't watch West Ham last night, but it sounded like Phillips was off it, and like I say, he was at fault for the goal. I guess he'll end up...
Surprised he's off it, though, is it? He's barely played in 18 months.
He also, when he did play for City, he looked like cumbersome, like he was just carrying a bit like too much weight. And I remember he used to be really light on his feet, and like, I don't know if it's just because he's playing for City and everyone at City looks so good and he just looks so average in comparison, but yeah, you kind of wonder if he's the same player, to be honest. But
Pep Guardiola called him a fat bastard.
I was trying to be nice and it's putting on a bit of not fat shaming the guy, but yeah.
Well, I mean, I think he's kind of okay with a professional athlete, fighting games and all that.
It's probably true.
It's funny. I was thinking about this because, of course, there's been this argument. Ten Hag was asked about Sancho. Why was there a difference between his reaction to Sancho and Rashford? And he said Sancho made it public, and there was a pushback from the sort of online community saying no, Ten Hag did it first. And I thought about this at the time because it's so innocuous. The comment he was asked, why did Ten Hag not play? Sorry, why did Sancho not play today? It was after the Arsenal game in September, and he said it was about his performances in training. It's so mild, and obviously Sancho's behaved like a petulant child. And then I was looking at all the things Pep has said in public about his players. I mean, not only did he call Calvin Phillips overweight, but he called Nunez, who they bought for £50 million. He said he has a poor first touch.
Yeah.
It was just He doesn't pull any punches. And, I know Fergie famously said, I never criticise my players, except if you go and look the comments he's made about his players, he quite frequently called out players where he saw that it was fit to do so. And, I don't know, swapping messages with Rob Blanchett on Twitter. And I said, I don't want to sound all okay boomer here, but these soft bastards, they can't take just the mildest form of criticism. Come on.
But... yeah, there are obviously some lads who can, like you say, like the City lads have clearly, I guess they see the authority in Pep and just respect it. But it is pathetic of Sancho, and other people like it. There is, it's almost like the difference though, isn't it? Between a club who are successful and winning things that you can take criticism.
Yeah.
And because you've kind of know in your heart, you know that you don't need that external validation. You know that you have it inside you to become a proper winner or a proper player. Whereas I think that's the difference between maybe the mentality of someone like Sancho, receives the smallest bit of criticism and then writes a social media post ridiculously long and then is crying for 3 weeks or whatever, because he's out of the team and he needs to apologise. Grow up really seriously.
Boo fucking who?
The proper managers, like you say, Fergie did criticise his players, but the proper managers who have got the authority and have got a proper squad below them, that they can do that. And you obviously don't want to be doing it every single game like Troy Deeney was, but at the right moments, it can spark a reaction inside of people. I mean, I guess it's the way that kids, when they get told off or whatever, they don't go crying all the time.
A couple of players West Ham won't have. Said Benrahma, who they bought for a lot of money from Brentford, hasn't really made it. He's gone off to Lyon on loan. Lyon in real trouble at the moment, near the bottom of the French league. And Pablo Fornals, I think that was it signed off? He's gone to, I can't remember now. Celta Vigo.
Well,
somewhere, League somewhere. This
morning, I don't know if there's been any updates, but both of them fell through because there was a problem with it wasn't the fax machine, but there was a problem with the internet at West Ham or something. So I don't know if someone pulled out the plug on purpose because they didn't want those transfers to go through. Because I think West Ham were trying to get a winger to replace the both of them, but. Yeah, well, I think both of the teams that were trying to sign those two players are talking to FIFA to try and get it over the line. I don't know if that's changed.
Get it sorted,
fair.
Yeah,
that was their situation at last point.
I don't know what the rules are with FIFA because it has to go, because international transfer, it has to go through FIFA. In Premier League to Premier League, you just have to show you've done the deal sheet. So it's really just one page you have to show that you filled it out, and you get time to complete all the formalities after that. So it'll be up to FIFA to work out whether they've managed to do that. Absolutely incredible, isn't it? That you have all this time to sort out and you're going till right at the last possible moment and the internet goes down. So someone couldn't get a hotspot on their phone.
That's it, yeah.
Find a carrier pigeon.
So funny. Takes me back to that time where it obviously happened with De Gea.
Dave.
Crazy.
Yeah. Dave, who still doesn't have a club.
Did you see that Forest were in for him, apparently? I think Oliver Kay from The Athletic reported, and De Gea thought he was too good for them. And I think in the piece it said that the people close to De Gea were trying to convince him that, you could play for a Premier League club for a few months and get yourself in the shop window. But I don't know what he's,
exactly.
I don't know what he's waiting for. Who's going to come in for him, really?
Retiring. I know, he still doesn't have a club. Jesse Lingard still doesn't have a club.
Apparently signing for FC Seoul, I saw today.
Oh, I saw that one, yeah. It's pretty weird.
Random.
Axel Tuanzebe, does he have a club? Did he go to Ipswich? I can't remember now. Phil Jones obviously doesn't have a club because he's got no legs. I mean, he's basically been retired for 4 years at this stage.
It's like that guy in Holy Grail, isn't he?
Just a scratch.
Yeah. That is kind of like...
Poor Phil Jones.
That is kind of Phil Jones, because he has done that kind of crawling before, trying to block it with his head. He probably would, He'd probably be a good player like that.
All right. We didn't really even talk about West Ham. Got to win, basically. They're pretty crap and we've got to win. So, please, United, another performance. I'd like to see another strong performance, because I just can't think of 2 back-to-back strong performances this season. There have been very few actual good performances, but for an hour we were good against Wolves. Can we pull it out for 90 minutes? Put away a mediocre side?
Who knows? Maybe this is the turning point.
I hope so. Been looking for it for a long time.
I've probably said that about 7 times this season.
Yeah. Yeah, probably have. All right. Thanks a lot, everyone. Come on, United.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Milo's Pro Rewards members. Go big during Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. Buy more and save more with up to 20% off job site essentials like primed finger joint boards when you spend $3,000 or more. Plus, get up to 25% off PVC DWV pipes when you spend $250 or more. Shop Pro Savings Days at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 1/23. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.